is hi cooks. Stop it. Stop it. That's Moonstone. Look at the size of that. Oh gosh, I wish. I see you, Cookie. I see you. I wish. I wish. I wish. See? Stop it. Stop it. Good afternoon. You know, we've been talking about stones and their properties, and so I thought it'd be neat to show you how to do a simple hippie wrap, and that way your favorite pocket stone could turn into your favorite pendant. But real quick, because I'm in my studio and I'm not showing it to you yet because I'm not done. But so remember I was talking about fluorite. This is my piece of fluorite. I showed you Big Daddy's, and this one's mine. And this is from Illinois, from one of the mines in Illinois. But look how big and that color. Oh, I love this so much. And I was talking about the jewelry quality of Moonstone, and I found my Moonstone. So my silver needs to be cleaned, but oh, my cats, focus camera. But these are the earrings and the pendant. This is your low quality, like D grade, you know, Moonstone. So you see the huge difference between this tumbled pocket stone and then these. So you can see there's nothing behind the stone, nothing up my sleeve, but that color, there it is, that fire. And it's not because there's a reflective foil behind the stone itself. It's just naturally that iridescence. But isn't it hysterical? Oh, hysterical. Isn't that wondrously nature to the two differences between the stones? Cookie's behind the tripod. If she knocks my camera over, I swear to God. But that's my Moonstone. I was excited. So now I'm gonna. Oh, wait, there's more. Wait, there's more. So I showed you all of the cabs that I found, and I was so excited because I thought I had lost my cabs. Oh my gosh, look, I found my other cabs. This, my dears, is hi cooks. Stop it. Stop it. That's Moonstone. Look at the size of that. Oh gosh, I wish. I see you, Cookie. I see you. I wish. I wish. I wish. See? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I'm not playing. I'm not playing. That is, you can see the fire here. This is butterfly jasper. Come on, camera, catch up. There we go. These are the long lost cabs that I bought. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to get back in here and start making jewelry again. Aren't these lovely? And then this, lose my mind. This Larimar. This comes from. This is really bad light. This comes from the Caribbean, and it's a very limited source. Larimar is a good investment stone. I just buy them because I like them. And I got a really good deal on these. I have two little square ones that I'm making into earrings for myself, and I broke the wire while I was wrapping, and so I had to put them away. But that's Larimar. This is another feldspar. This is labradorite. These also have fire. Will it catch it? Yes! Come on, camera, focus. 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 There we go. This is labradorite. Look. See that? Yes, Cookie. I see you. She thinks this is the greatest game on the planet. It's focusing on that. Oh, stop. She's about to knock my camera over. But that is labradorite. Oh my gosh. I gotta get busy. Gotta get busy. This is chaurite. I don't think I say it correctly. It's from Russia. It's easy to confuse with sugarlight, but it's chaurite. Now, alright, you guys. You ready? I am a self-proclaimed stone hoarder. These are some more of my pocket stones. These are some more stones that I will randomly go through and say, well, I'll put this in my pocket today. Or I want to, you know, throw this in my car today. So I have my ones that I work with upstairs. And then I have these. These are my supplemental stones, I guess. And some of these, I mean, these are actually drilled beads. So these are, like, this is a drilled bead. So it's a big pendant stone. This is blue lace agate. And you can see where it's not fully formed here. It's got a little bit of druzy in it. Isn't that pretty? This is what we're going to wrap. And then here's the supplies that you'll need. I'm using copper. I'm using 20 gauge copper and 22 gauge copper. You'll also need a pair of nippers. And a round nose plier and a chain nose plier. And then you'll need something to measure your stone with. Be creative. This will work. Painter's tape will work. It's not real sticky. Masking tape. Piece of fabric. I mean, just whatever. Because you want twice the length of wire as the circumference of the stone. So I'm going to loosely, it's not an exact science, but bring this around. Okay, so it's about that. Okay, so I'm going to measure out 2 10-inch pieces of wire. Okay. And then decide how I'm going to wrap my stone. So that's a natural point. So that'll probably be the top. Yeah. Well, actually, no. I'm gonna cut it across here. Yeah. Cut it across there. So this piece of wire is pretty wiggly. I'm gonna straighten it out a little bit with my hands. There's a tool. I don't use it, but it's got so it's like your pliers, but it has 2 nylon covers, so you can use that to stretch out across your wire like this and pull, so you can put pressure on there and you won't scar up your wire. But you know, I have water bucket hands, so I use my fingers for everything. So straighten it out. And here is what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to have because widens out, I'm going to go across here. I'm going to anchor on either side and then go around the stone, and I'm going to make the bail at the top. And that way this little point here will hang out the bottom of the wire wrap, and that will also anchor it in. So roughly find the middle, eyeball it, and that's gonna be like this. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna anchor here, and I'm gonna anchor here with wire. You can leave it on the spool if you want. So I'll leave just a little bit of tail here. You're gonna fold that over, and you're just gonna make several wraps. Keep them close. And once you make your wrap, push it down. And you're gonna go around your wire, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. So there you've got, there's your anchor. So snip it off, because we're gonna fold this up and around. And then come, got it below that. Measure your stone again, and over here on this side, come on with the focus. So over here we're gonna wrap in that direction. So about there, and make sure your wires stay, they don't cross over. And then same thing, leave a little tail, helps you kind of hold on to it, and wrap it around 4 or 5 times. Push them together. Then that's good. And see, the wires want to cross over, so I'm going to straighten them back out so they're parallel with each other. Oh wow, you know what? Here I thought it was out of focus the whole time. You know what? No, it's my eyeballs. I pushed my glasses up. I was like, oh no, that's in focus. Okay. So I'm gonna secure these here. And go ahead and, because we're gonna fold them. So I'm gonna trim them just a little bit past the edge of the wire. Same on this one, just a little bit past the edge. And I'm going to measure again. It's a little bit big, so just put, they're not locked in there, so I can move them back and forth. And it looks good. Maybe just a little bit wider, because we're going to pull them apart. So now that we have those anchor wires, now that we have them we're positioned where we want, give that whole coil, give it a mash, keep it in place, tidy it up, just tidying it up, pushing the coils together. And then give it a mash. Now what you want to do is take this little debris here, and just flip it up and just make it flush with the, just bring it on up and around. It's the same thing. Just bring that little tail up into the end of that coil right there. Yeah, stay in camera, Tish. This is really hard. I'm mad respect for all the DIYers out there. So I'm just going to make those wire tails flush with the wire. And see how it's... You can see how it's like, you know, the coil's tight and then it flares. Just use your... Just mash it together. So you tighten it up. And then from this side, I can see that tail better. And I can bring it around and mash it flush. That way when I run my finger across it, it's not rough on there. Just tidying up the work. Just like that. Yeah. So now we're going to set it there and then bring the wires up around the stone. So we're gonna open this here. I just get a little place started and then just, I mean, just that easy. Don't overthink it. It's a hippie wrap. I let the wire talk to me and tell me how the stone needs to be wrapped. So I just put this stone, see, through there, and then I'm just gonna push this wire up like that. And I didn't say those. And then just use the pliers. Just kind of mash it in place a little bit. We're good because we're going to adjust it later, right? We're just getting the gist of it. So now we need to take these wires around to the top. Kind of figure out how we want them to go. That'd be good. And so I'm gonna have to bend the wire out around the stone again, like here, to anchor it into place. So I have to decide where I'm going to bend it and where I need to anchor it. So probably like, glasses up. I'll be bending this wire this way and this wire this way. So I need to anchor it. So I'll probably put an anchor like here, which is another one of these wraps. I'll put an anchor here, and then I'll put another anchor probably right here towards the top of this stone. And then those anchors there will also work to anchor the bale at the top. So yeah, right about there. Right about there. So take your 22 gauge wire. I leave it on the spool. Cut yours off if you want to. Get back in frame, and I'm just leaving that little tail there. Gonna go around 4 or 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gonna snip it off. Same thing on the other side. We're gonna make it look pretty in a minute. It's a little high, and that's fine. So we just move it down the wire. Yeah, that looks good. And the same thing. So right about here, I'm gonna do the same thing 4 or 5 times. Leave a tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cut it off. Then I'm going to straighten my wires. So they're wanting to cross over each other. So I'm just going to straighten them back out so they're side by side. And I'm going to tighten that up. Push it all together. Same thing on this side. Straighten out my wires so they're side by side. Straighten, tighten that up there. That coil. Then trim my wires again so they're just a little bit past the wire because we're just going to fold them down. Okay. Now before I give it a mash and tighten it up, I want to make sure it's in the right place again. Can I roughly still have the form? So yeah, that's right. That's tolerable. I'm gonna move this one down a little bit though. Yeah, just a little bit, because I'm gonna have to bend this wire out. And I'm gonna bend this wire out. So now I'm gonna mash them tails down like we did, just to bring them around the wire. Put them in. Don't bend. Just to put it in place. Then we'll give it a mash. Like fast. Oh, here's a tip. While I'm filling time, the farther back down your jaws, the less pressure, your torque for your physics. You gotta push harder here to mash, not so hard back here to mash. So you have some finesse all up and down the jaws, depending on how soft the metal is that you're working with. That's good. And I'm gonna bring this around. Bring that one around. Tighten it up a little bit more. And give it a mash. And it's in place. That part there's been a little bit difficult. There we go. And I always run my finger across it just to make sure it's a little smooth. Okay. Ooh, we're almost in the home stretch here. Let me tell you, it's pretty easy. And then put it back around my lines. Now we need to make the bail. So we're going to bring it up around the top and then turn it straight out. And the same on this side too. Bend it around the top of the stone and then bend it straight out. Because when you push them together, there's the top of your that's the top of your form, which is the bottom of your bail. So two things you can do at this point. This is just a straight hippie wrap, so it doesn't have to be anything exciting. So what I typically do first, because you can always go back and adjust, is get my wires bent and ready to go, and then I start to form my bail. And that's kind of the hardest part, because you got to hold the stone in place while you're doing your bail, but you'll figure it out. So I'm gonna move these wires so they'll come out across the stone. The same thing, I just separate them a little bit, spread them out. Same on this side. Separate them a little bit. Spread them out. Now, I know the short side is on the long side, right? Oh no! Okay, yeah, no, it goes this way. Yeah, okay. So now when I spread those out a little bit, it actually pulled the wires down somewhat, so you can see my bail is a little off. That's okay. I'll do it again. Just straighten that out a little bit. Bring it back around. Bend it up. Bring it back around. Bend it up. Okay. So the same thing too is here. We've got these ready to bend around the stone. These. And then these we're going to bend up around the top of the stone. But I'm going to make my bail first. Because I'm going to keep that stone locked in there before I open these up. Okay? Because I'm going to have some play in there. That's not going to be a problem. But first I'm going to bend these around the stone. So now's where you have to keep the stone in your form. This is just real quick. Just using my fingers just to kind of start to look really cool. So just like that. This way. And then this is where you need your round nose pliers. And you can do it, I'd always do it sloppy because I like the artistic look of it. And I've got all 4 wires trapped in these jaws here, right? And I'm going to make my bail. So I'm going to, the further back, the bigger the bail. And bend it. I bend it away from me. And then I turn the jaws up. Bend it back to me. And I keep adjusting my jaws back and forth. They're the round nose, I keep adjusting them. So now I've got a pretty decent sized bail for a cord. That'll fit through it pretty good. And then now take all of these and go around this. Once, twice. Okay, so now we have, there's your bail here. We've got this wrapped around here, and we still have to anchor this up here. So you can, if you want to, you've got all this left over, you can make little spirals. Come down here. You can make little spirals down here with your wires. You could just cut it off and just keep it like that. But being that this is a hippie wrap and it's more simplistic, we're not going to do the spirals. We'll do that for another one. We'll do like hippie wrap 2.0, and we'll add spirals with our leftover. So I'm going to take my nippers and just cut them off flush. Done. Now take your pliers and start to mash these around. You need to clean them up, but just to get them out of the way for right now, because we'll go back in and fine tune it. So now I have to move these wires. So spread them apart, because here's why. You see this wiggle? We're going to start to anchor these wires down now. And pretty soon, you won't have any wiggle in that stone. So, now I'll just have to finesse it and get this part here to open up. There we go. See that? Now same with this side. And my wire twisted a little bit when I started to twist around that bail, and it's okay. It's the beauty of this wrap. I love the simplistic art that happens with these wraps. This is where you'll learn your finesse. I have nails of steel. There we go. Okay, so now I take these and wrap these, push these around onto the stone, push these around onto there. Now with your pliers, and make sure they're smooth, because if they have teeth, it's going to tear up your wire. Now I'm going to just mash it. I'm looking at the camera instead of the stone to make sure I'm in the viewfinder thingy. I'm just gonna mash it on there. Mash it on there. And you do work around, work around, work around. I'm gonna mash it on there. As I'm working the tension of the wire to get it into place, to get it tight. Then you can, there actually is a tool, I don't know what it's called, so maybe I won't talk about it. There's a special tool, it's a little curved, and you can use it to push down. I just use the side of my pliers. Push down, and work around your stone. Same thing, just keep working around the design until it starts to lay flush with the stone. And each time you do it, you're going to tighten up that design, you're going to tighten up that wire. Now, you see how there's no play at all. That's in there, in like Flint. So now it's time just to basically tighten up your design. So I have all of these here, and so I'm just going to work them in by doing some squeezing and pushing those, just pushing them down in there. And I love, if I had hair, I'd wear messy buns all the time, and I like these messy designs. I just think they're beautiful. So just continue just to kind of squeeze and push those tails to where they start to become, they'll go in between themselves, like in between the wires, and then they'll be flush. See, like that? Just flush with the design right there. And then take your, depending on like what direction you want your bail to go, you can then move this around, and this will also tighten up your design. I just spun that around, so now it's, and then you can move these around if you want. I'm going to push it down, widen it up a little bit. And those ends, they moved a little bit when I moved the design, so I'm going to put them back in place. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So now I've gone around and I've pushed these into place. I've pushed all of these into place. So now I can work on my on these wires here and make the design even tighter. I mean, that's wicked tight, right? But let's make it tighter. So you take your plier and do just a little turn, just tiny. So there's that side, and now on this side. So you can see where when I pull this apart, it doesn't quite go around the top of the stone. It's okay, because this one's going to hold it in place. I pulled it down and gave it a little twist, and I'm going to pull this one in and give it a little twist. And you'll feel those wires pulling on each other, and it gets even tighter. Look at that. Look at that. Right? We just wire wrapped this blue lace agate on some copper. Decide which one you want it to be the front and the back. Oh my goodness. Look what we did. High five. Be peaceful. Be kind. Stone. If you're wanting to get pregnant, this is a good one to keep with you. This is small. It's got a nice flat back on it. It's not too thick. Let's wrap this one today. No, I don't want to get pregnant. Yep.